Boxing truth here. Danny Garcia's cherry picking has reached new levels. It's even worse when a proposed fight against Andre Berto, a faded Andre Berto, was being considered. It's even worse than a proposed fight with John Molina, who's not even campaigning in the welterweight division. But now Danny Garcia has hit a new low as he tried to cherry pick a British level fighter. That was revealed by Eddie Hearn to the boxing media as Heyman and Garcia's team, a middleman, Louis DeCubas, reached out to Eddie Hearn about a possible fight between Danny Garcia and a matchroom fighter named Sam Eggington, a British level fighter who's done nothing in his career, not considered world class, couldn't even beat Bradley Skeet in a British title fight at welterweight. He's 18-3 with 10 knockouts, very young kid, 22 years old. And if you watch any footage of him, you can see why Danny Garcia's team tried to cherry pick him. Eddie Hearn doesn't have much welterweights in his matchroom stable. Kell Brook moved up in weight. He's recovering from an injury. Other than Kell Brook, he has Frankie Gavin and Sam Eggington. And Garcia's team were inquiring about perhaps making a voluntary defense in a very weak voluntary defense against Eggington. But I know what this is about. This is about money. Garcia's team are showing their true colors as they're living up to the philosophy Angel Garcia stated in an infamous interview a while back. It's not about the glory. Why fight that guy when you can fight a Salka? But the PBC fighters are getting a reality check. It's not 2015 no more. The money appears to be running dry considering the schedule is very light for PBC in the fall. Shows have been canceled. A lot of PBC fighters are inactive, and Danny Garcia is one of them. He hasn't fought since January and is losing momentum. And all these proposed fights are just getting worse and worse as the opponent is just becoming even less worthy. No one even wanted to see the Andre Berto fight initially. But considering what Garcia's team is trying to give the public, I would have settled for a Berto fight. Shit. But this is about money. Garcia's team don't want to pay Berto a huge purse. And considering Garcia made his biggest purse in his last fight when PBC was still afloat around that time, they were able to overpay these guys a lot of money. But now the fighters are getting reality check. The numbers are not there no more. Heyman is not able to overpay his fighters. They have to take what's really the reality of the situation. They have to take what they're worth. And Garcia, coming off a reported $2 million purse, fight night purse at least, against Robert Guerrero, wasn't feeling that he was possibly going to get less than 7 figures to fight Andre Berto, considering that they had to pay Andre Berto a high fight night purse as well. So that's why they considered John Molina, because John Molina would have came cheaper. But I think I know why the John Molina fight's not happening. Because the WBC said hell no to Al Heyman. They weren't going to sanction that fight. They weren't going to sanction a guy that's not even rated within the top 30 of the WBC. So I believe Mauricio Suleiman, who is close with Heyman, those guys, they help each other out. They'll bend the rules at times for Heyman, but I think Mauricio Suleiman said hell no. He's not going to sanction that fight. A junior welterweight coming up to fight Danny Garcia. And now it looks like that fight's not going to happen. So Louis DeCubas reached out to Hearn for a possible Sam Eggington fight. Eddie Hearn said sure. What's the offer? Initially, it was 100,000. They turned it down flat out. Then it was 125. But considering it's a world title fight, Eddie Hearn's job is to get the most money possible for his client. They pass on the offer. And now Garcia is left without an opponent. There's been so many proposed dates of when he was supposed to fight. September 24th, October 15th, now possibly November to December. But he's still without an opponent, and he's looking to get the easiest fight out there, since it's being rumored that he's going to possibly fight Keith Thurman in the first quarter of next year. So it's ideal to get at least one fight in instead of going into a Keith Thurman fight in about 12 months of inactivity. But I believe the issue is money. Garcia doesn't want to take a pay cut and overpay an opponent when he has the option to get a much easier fight and pay the guy even less, so he can still make a decent amount of money for his next voluntary defense. But he's having issues. I don't think Molina was accepted by WBC. Andre Berto was just too expensive for Garcia's team to pay and take a pay cut for a showcase fight against Berto. And Eddie Hearn turned down the offer that he got for the Sam Eggington fight against Danny Garcia. Though Hearn said Eggington would have took the fight for 10 grand, but he passed. So now it's looking like Danny Garcia may not fight for the rest of the year, which is not ideal. He'll head into a Keith Thurman bout with a lot of inactivity. But what can he do? There's still no fight scheduled for the fall of the PBC. There was supposed to be a date in October that's being scrapped. Now just waiting for a date maybe in November or December. Mikey Garcia was supposed to be in the co-feature. But there are opponents within the top 15 rankings of the WBC. That's the thing. WBC would have had to make a special request. Heyman's team would have had to make a special request to the WBC, because Eggington's not even rated within the top 15. He's rated number 26 by the WBC. So they would have had to ask a special request from the WBC to get Eggington rated, which probably would have happened. Would have been no big deal. But that fight's not happening. But there is other opponents, but I just think they're too expensive. Sean Porter is rated number 5 by the WBC. He's looking for an opponent. He's looking to have one more fight this year. Why not just fight him? But it's too expensive. Heyman's don't got that. He don't got that money to overpay his fighters like that right now. The Showtime license fee probably won't be enough for both guys to take the fight. So just the logistics, the money doesn't add up for that fight to be made. So this is what it's come down to Danny Garcia. Just lost all the momentum since the Matisse fight. Not doing himself any favors with the public, the boxing public that continues to criticize him, but it's warranted, especially now, since he's trying to fight the least worthy opposition possible. Guy's not even rated in the top 15 of the WBC rankings. Doesn't get any worse than that. Not even world-class level, British level fighter that he tried to fight, who was tailor-made. Would have been easy work. Shit, John Molina fight would have been better than that, to be honest. But we'll see what's next for Danny Garcia. It's not going to be something exciting or even worth talking about. It's just funny that how his team is just trying to get the least riskiest fight possible for the most amount of money by simply paying the opponent the least amount of money that they have to pay in order for Garcia to get the type of purse he wants. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.